Hi guys, welcome back to Ladies in Red. We're smiling. Happy Sancho Day to all of the United fans out there. Honestly, me and Nat are buzzing, and obviously we're going to delve into that. But firstly, Nat, how are you feeling on this Friday evening?
Yeah, it's good. It's. They said there was going to be a lot of rain, but we've still had good sun, so I'm happy. I'm getting out there, getting my tan on, and just loving life in my
Yeah,
United jersey. It's a good day for men's and women's team.
a lot of signings, a lot of transfers that we can be discussing. The big one, the obvious one, is obviously Sancho. He's home, is what he's saying in his video, and I love the fact he was referring to United as Manchester as a whole. He knows that United run things in Manchester, but yeah, is it a relief thing? Is it just for you now, like the fact that it's done and we can move on to the next one because it's been coming for so long, hasn't it, Sancho?
Yeah, and I think he was just in. It was in sort of like it's like a holding tweet, didn't they? They did like a holding tweet where they said, it's done, pending medical, etc. We all knew that it was going to go through. We were just waiting on the, I say bells and whistles, all the big announcements, all the lights, and it didn't disappoint. I liked his little message. See you on the 17th. Was it 14th? I don't even know.
14th, yeah, 14th.
14th. See you for Leeds. And yeah, I saw a little tweet where he says, I've told Calvin Phillips, we're coming and all this. So I love that banter already. I love that rivalry. He gets it. It's like you said, the Manchester thing. And yeah it's just good feeling.
I'm buzzing. Victor Curtis is back as a model. Said I'd sorted, Curtis. I'm glad it's all sorted for you. Hello to De Gea, who's in the chat as well. Ashton said JS25, 2 plus 5 is 7. So technically it is JS7. Do you think that was in his mind when he saw that? Obviously, we've seen Valencia as well go from that 25 to the 7. Is it a sense that Jadon next season will be number 7, but this season obviously it stays with Cavani?
Yeah, and I know but we saw Martial get the 9 taken out. It's not a nice thing. You don't want to sort of come in and, Cavani's an experienced, top-class player. He's done so much, and just to sort of, it's only a year, but to steal his number off him, he's not that kind of guy. So I think it's better, take the 25, holding number, and then when Cavani finally leaves, get your 7. And, it's nice if it's going to go to someone else. It's probably even told, you'll have it. But, don't want to come in and upset other teammates. Just a number's a number at the end of the day. I'm seeing a lot of upset people, and I get it. You want him to have the 7, that's his sort of brand, but it doesn't matter. He's playing for United. A number doesn't mean anything. Superstition, maybe, but, you're playing for United, you're kicking the ball. What number's on the back? No one cares.
Exactly. I said it, I think it was early when it was announced about shirt numbers and whatnot. And I said that if he ends up with a 12 or a 25 or a number that you say is a dead number, maybe he can make it in his own and make it something as well. I would love for him to do that, light that number up, you know what I mean? But yeah, you're right, it's a number. And I do think if he comes in automatically as that number 7 as well, do you think that adds extra pressure? He keeps mentioning the word iconic and the players that have been there before him. If he's immediately in that number 7, I mean, that's a big pair of shoes to fill, isn't it? Do you think it's better gradually doing that?
Yeah, definitely as well, because I think Cavani's done so well in it. Yes, last year, and then obviously you play with him, taking his number, and if he does better than you, there's no point having that sort of tension or expectation on you, for no reason. Take the 25, and like you say, light that up, and JS25. That's what they'll be tweeting. So, 7 will come for him. He's still young, still got a lot of a way to go. Iconic. People are saying he's the best this and the best that, and I want him to live up to that. But big players have worn that number. Ronaldo, Beckham. So he'll be wanting to live up to them, but he'll come. Don't worry.
I think that as well. I really do. But I also agree with letting him settle. Obviously, he's played in the Bundesliga for a bit now. Let him settle. Hopefully, he hits the ground running. But we need to be patient with our new players, don't we? Good evening to James. Thank you for tuning in. I'm doing very well, and I hope you are doing well too, James. Even to Curlers, even to Lee. Lee, thanks for tuning in again. Even to Zoe. And Wesley says Sancho, simply just Sancho, one word. And we're so glad we can say it on the channel now because it was banned for a while, but it's back up there now. Best up to Ashton as well. I hope you're doing well. Ian likes the hat. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. Good evening to Tom as well, and I hope you're doing well. Yeah, but you know what? Nicole was talking in the chat earlier, obviously, and she was saying that she's been that used to seeing edited shirt pictures of Sancho that even the real ones look fake. I agree with that. It's just been so long. It felt like he's been a United player for ages. But to get it announced now, Nat, do you think that maybe Sancho's out the way, we can start to focus and move forward and maybe look at the next signing, potentially being Varane?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what we need to do. I think we need to get it sorted. I'm not saying I'm worried, but he's gone back to Madrid, which he has to. I don't think he's going to kick up a fuss. for it. I think he wants to come, so get it done, pay the money, get him as the next one in. And, you know, like I said, there was that holding tweet, but I think everyone was still thinking about when's the announcement, when's it all going to be official. So now it's official. We can move on to the next players that we need to get. You know, there's talk of a DM, another midfielder, Varane, you know, adding those kind of players. And I don't see why we can't be, you know, second to first, you know. Why
You're
not?
answering this chat here, Nat. You're getting selections question in there. Selection, thank you for that. But yeah, Nat, you are right. With those players in, he said there, realistically, with Sancho and let's say Varane, where do you guys see us finishing next season? You said there, second, third. Keep in mind, you guys still have our league unbiased opinion. I said this yesterday on the show. I said, all these names coming in, there's pressure on Ollie now. There's no excuses, is there? He's got to go and he's got to win a trophy. You've already mentioned Champions League football needs to be secured again. Do you think that with all these players that we could potentially be contenders for the title? And we've been unbiased in saying this. I'm seeing, like, theoretically, obviously, we haven't signed these players yet, have we? But if we did.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you say, Sancho, you're just adding to that kind of thing. That's what we missed last year, right, winger? So why can't we go out? You know, yes, we were a bit far off, but we cemented that second for me. And I think the realistic step, progression, is to either be closer or be winning it. You know, for me, there's no... Like you said, there's no excuse anymore. I was devastated about the Europa League. I know people would say, oh, well, that's why he's not good enough, Ollie out. But no, I was devastated. I think he was as well. And this is it now. I said it then, but I'm saying it now, definitely. I think he did so well in the league last year, in my opinion, from where we were and COVID, etc. Yeah. Now with all the fans behind him and, you know, the players that he's bringing linked to, Sancho's been confirmed. Like you said, there's no excuse. And for me, I think, why can't we go and win it? That's might be overconfident. I'm sure everyone will clip it and say, oh, look, but, you know, I think let's go and win it.
We're just talking here theoretically. If we did sign the likes of Varane, if we're getting a class CDM as well, of course we should be competing. No two ways about it. If we keep Pogba there as well, I think that's a big thing, isn't it? We need to try and keep Paul Pogba. Meg is just jumping in now, bless her, she's here. But Meg is a big Pogba fan, so she's coming in at the right time, to be fair. I just want to say big up to John. He said, finally caught a show live. Hope you're well. I'm doing well, thank you, John. And it's good to see you in the chat. I hope you're doing good. Here she is, the lovely Meg. Meg, how you doing?
Hello, I'm wow. Yeah, I'm good. I apologise that I'm running 10 minutes late, but that's the life of being a mum, isn't it? So, but however, I did hear the P word. So, where have we got to?
Literally, just you came in at perfect timing. It's almost like it's meant to be, Meg. We haven't said anything yet. We've just spoken about. We were asked he sent super chat, bless him. Thank you for that. But he asked, where realistically will we finish if we get Varane? Obviously, we've got Sancho in and the CDM, and I've just mentioned. I think that hinges on keeping Pogba as well, whether he stays or goes. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen the rumours, Meg. I'm sure you've been searching Pogba's name all day into Twitter because I know what you're like. How are you feeling about the whole Pogba situation?
I have seen the rumours and I've heard the rumours and we've read the rumours and it makes me sad. It makes me sad. But there's a lot. I feel there's a lot to break down in this, and I see a lot of he just needs to go. And I think there's a lot of people who just be like, I want out. And that's fine if that's your opinion. But to counterbalance that opinion, Pogba starts every week for me in that centre of midfield with the midfielders that we've got, especially now we've got Sancho as well, which means there's cover for that left-hand side. So before the transfer window, we were all on about we wanted a CDM. Sell Pogba, you've got to get 2 midfielders in. Because who replaces him? Fred? Fred's not nowhere near that same level. And we're all saying we need a new CDM. Fred's been playing that position as well.
Donny?
I still don't think he's on Pogba's level.
We haven't seen that from him.
But I still think you're short. Well, we're short, not you personally, so you're medium height. But do you see what I mean? For me, Pogba starts every week. Get rid of him, you're going to have to bring in another player. But I also get the whole fact that he hasn't been consistent enough. We recognise that. I'm not blind to it. But the guy is a genius at football when he wants to, but he makes football look easy. Yeah. And and the whole price thing, really, it angers me a little bit, because if you're seeing, and I know a lot of it comes into the fact that, they've only got 1 year left on his contract, and, ages and stuff and all like that. I get that. But Arsenal have put for Ben White 50 million. And that's the same price that we potentially will get for Pogba. Ben White and poor Pogba. I know, but we'd still have him for this extra year. And would this extra year, if we get Varane in as well, would that throw poor Pogba into where
for me?
There's a lot of things about the price, and I don't want to talk about the price, but that's another thing that I'll get.
I get it. On average, you'd say it should be worth more than that in today's market. I totally get what you're saying. 100%. But for me, if a player doesn't want to be at United, nobody's bigger than the club, and we say that for not just Paul Pogba, for any player. If his head is turned and he wants out, I wouldn't keep him for the extra year. I would rather cash in there, get some money for him, and like you say, invest in other midfielders and replacements. The worry for me is, even if we do get Sancho, we get Varane, but then we lose Paul Pogba and we don't sign a midfielder, that's when I worry. Because for me, we need to strengthen that 100%. Midfield area. Regardless of Pogba's situation, we already needed to strengthen that area. Nat, what's your thoughts on the rumours? I mean, we're sick and tired of seeing it. They're back again.
Yeah, I agree with you. So if I do agree with Meg, I really rate him. I think it's better to keep him than get rid of him. But are you going to still get the best out of him if he wants to go? Is he going to... is he going to basically perform at the level that we've seen? Or has he just sort of performed at that level, going into the Euros, knowing that his suitors are going to come back for him, etc.? I'm not saying that's what it is, but it looks like it is. And with a year left, is he going to just sort of throw his toys out the pram and say, why aren't you selling me and all this kind of thing? You don't know. And with Raiola, you know what he's like. He'll start all this kind of bringing the club into disrepute, saying things about Ole, saying things about Man United. And that's why I think, if we have offered him what we've offered him, forget about the money, like you said. We've offered him and he's still saying no. I think you just have to let him go. And it's sad. I want him to stay. I agree with Meg. I think he'll do more staying and then losing him for free than potentially having to buy in world class. You're not going to get that player again, But you can't keep him on.
In an ideal world, we keep Paul Pogba happy, he stays, and Varane comes in, Sancho comes in, player like Camavinga comes in, who could possibly link really well with Pogba in the future. But if he's not happy, like I say, for me, you've got to get some money for him all you can. We already lost him on a free one, so I don't want to do that again. Do you know what I mean? So, it's an annoying one, because in an ideal world, I'm sure we'll all sit here and say we'd like Paul Pogba to stay, but just doesn't seem, with the rumours going around, it doesn't seem like he wants to stay.
I'd be absolutely gutted. I would be absolutely gutted. I know
a lot of fans a taste.
Yeah, I know a lot of fans will probably wave him off and be happy about the situation because of, like you said, everything that comes with Pogba. But for me personally, I would be gutted if we got rid of him. I feel like, especially like you said, with the players that we're bringing in and the attraction to Manchester United and back in the Champions League again, things like that, and what we're aiming for, realistically, standards now, this season, we should be winning a trophy this season. And I don't just mean like Community Shield or something, like the Carabao Cup, sorry, or, FA Cup minimum. But really, if you'd have kept Pogba, for me, we should be winning something this year. And I don't know, it's difficult, isn't it? Because when you talk like that, for me, Pogba's part of that.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Nippon, question for both of you. What left you more heartbroken? Coming second in the Euros or coming second in Europa League?
Europa League. Sorry, I know. For me, it's always about club. It's always about club, and losing that was heartbreaking because I thought that's what, Ollie's going to prove his doubt is wrong and all this, and I still back him, but I do think he needs to win a trophy, desperately.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm not. I feel right now it's still quite raw about the Euros, but I think it's the fact that we've never seen England win something, and we were that close.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see how the country reacts if we win. I'm desperate to see it. I think I was there in Spain when they won the World Cup, and the reaction, and just, oh my God, you will never witness something like it. Unbelievable scenes when, being in the country that wins something so major, like when they won the World Cup.
Yeah.
And so I would just love to be able to see England win something, and we were, like I said, that close. It's still raw, girls. I can't take it.
It pains me.
Yeah.
I apologise if a slight echo goes on. I'm just trying to work on it. I can hear it as well, so I'm just trying to sort it. I'm not sure what it is. It could be me. I don't know. Let me know if it's any better, guys. I'm just fidgeting in the background as well, so I'm not ignoring you. I am still here. But yeah, in terms of the Europa League, it's absolutely gutting. I think after reaching so many semi-finals prior to that as well, England getting to the final itself was a massive achievement. So I'd probably say getting there in itself made me less disappointed in the final, because when it comes to Italy, I think most of us feared the worst, if we're honest with ourselves. But yeah, the Europa League for me, like, it was our name was practically on it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just one more game, should have been a formality, and the fact that the way we didn't turn up, and obviously the penalties as well. Europa League for me was the more heartbreaking one. Selection, thank you so much for the super chat. It says MUFC definitely have quality, but does the manager know how to use them? Evidence says hell no. I think Chelsea and Liverpool will be on the madness City too. Chelsea and Liverpool are going to be better this season, no two ways about it. We already know what City are about. Like we said, I think Ollie at times has been a bit vulnerable tactically. Now he's getting the personnel in. If he does get the personnel in, obviously we've got one player in. But if the rumours are true, for random players coming like that coming in, he's got to improve tactically, hasn't he? There's no more excuses for Ollie. He's got to get some silverware. Bless you, Meg.
Bless you. I agree. He's got to win. I think he's underrated though, because I think he's got the best out of like Shaw and Pogba, Rashford. I think he'll get the best out of Sancho as well. So I think let's not downplay him. But yeah, he does have to start winning now, and I think this is the season that he will, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Varane as well. For me, that's another sort of top quality toward world class kind of player. So, we've seen what Maguire can do, bringing someone like Varane in next to him. Should be keeping a lot of clean sheets next year.
I really don't see the transfer window being finished either right now, and not just Manchester United, from other clubs as well. I still feel like there's a couple of big moves that are kind of brewing, and whether they will be completed in time or whether we will see kind of like a dramatic ending to the window. So I personally don't think that our window is finished. Whether we get Varane or not, I still think perhaps there will be other movements as well. But the Premier League's just one of those leagues, isn't it, where there's a lot of names in the hat, and a lot of teams that, you just mentioned 4 there, but there's other teams that can easily be up there, and the surprise teams as well, if you want to put them in, like West Ham last year, how well they did. It's going
to be interesting. Regardless, it's going to be an interesting season. I'm excited for the Leeds game. I don't know about you girls, but seeing Sancho holding that shirt today just made me want it to come round fast. But yeah, Varane rumours, you mentioned there that about Varane and Maguire being a good partnership. You've seen that he's back training for Real Madrid. Do you feel like this deal's kind of slipping away? Is he going to sign that new deal at Real Madrid?
I don't. It's difficult because I think, we want him. Apparently he's agreed it all. He wants to come, so go out and pay the money. For me, get it done. And I think the longer you leave it, the more likely he's going to stay at Real Madrid. Because apparently he said he didn't want to train under 2 managers. I think get it done next week. That's what I would be looking at doing. But we know United, it takes longer than expected. I don't know. I think, people are saying season around the corner. I don't think it's done, but I don't want it to be dragging on till like deadline day kind of thing. I want it done nice and early and getting in, like you say, if Pogba then leaves, getting into the 2 midfielders. I want Varane done, say, before you let Pogba go. And if Pogba's looking to go as soon as possible or whatever it's saying, you need to be ready now.
Meg, how confident are you on Varane?
I'm not in that 90% club just yet. Well, last week perhaps I might have been, but it's always been stated that he was, happy to continue to train, and it was going to be like a mutual decision to leave. It wasn't him just being forced out of the club. Like, he respected that he was still a Real Madrid player. So I think for me, it didn't really come as a shock that he went to training, and I think that's respectful of him. And as a player, I like that he's not just throwing his toys out the pram. If we look at the Pogba situation and people say, oh, people throw their toys out the pram. Well, not just Pogba, but other players as well. So I'm still hopeful. Is that better? Like, I said this before the Italy game for England. I was hopeful, not confident. I'm still hopeful for the Varane deal.
Okay, hopeful. I'll take that. I think I'm the same. To be fair.
I don't want to give a percentage, but hopeful.
Yeah.
Kind of covers
We've got 99% club in the chat going on from Tom there. Selection, thank you so much for that super chat. He says, stop. Ollie isn't underrated at all. He's utter rubbish. Rashford would be a killer under an actual manager. How did Ollie finish second and get to the Europa League final if he's rubbish? For me, he's obviously not rubbish. Do I agree that yes, there's areas for improvement, and I'm hoping that personnel coming in will help that as well, and experience will help him. And that's what I'm saying. If we get the personnel in and then he fails, then of course he deserves that criticism. But for me, I think he's done a decent job so far. Yes, the football isn't always glamorous and isn't always easy on the eye, and I accept that. And I'm hoping at times that's down to personnel. There's rumours that he wants to change the 4-3-3 this season. Maybe that'll make it more entertaining as well. But what's your thoughts on that, Nath? 4-3-3 was what's been rumoured apparently he was looking at.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's that's sort of the way that people are playing. 99% club. I'm not that close. I'm not that confident. No, that's the sort of way that modern teams play. So for me, I think it's good. I think it's what we need. I agree with Star-Lord. He's learning. He's getting better, I think, as it goes along. He's always had an eye for talent, and I think now they're giving him that talent, and I'm excited to see what he does. I think he needs, we're hearing they're signing new coaches and this and that, and set piece coach from Chelsea, and I think that is only going to be beneficial to him because he's going to, like what Star-Lord says, learn and learn more tactical side. And he's even said himself, like, I'm not the best at that side, and that's why I've got a lot of people around me, which is good. He can see his flaws. He's not sort of like an arrogant kind of coach where he's like, I'm the greatest coach ever. He knows he's got flaws and he knows what he's good at, and it's good to see. Just humbleness.
And I'm sure if he does win a trophy this season, I'm sure these people who are saying Ollie is utter rubbish would soon change their minds. We know what the fan base is like a lot of the time. I'm not saying you're like that selection. I'm saying that there's a lot of people who are very much reactive to results. So from one game to the next, either Ollie in or Ollie out. And you can't be that way. You have got to be a bit patient. But I do agree that at times the football is frustrating to watch, and I totally agree with that. But I'm hoping personnel coming in, maybe a system change. As you mentioned there, we started with 4-3-3, so entertaining, scoring goals for fun. And then it just seems to change. So hopefully if we do revert back to that in some games as well, we do see more of an expansive style of football, because that's what we want to see. We want to be entertained as United fans, don't we? So, but at the same time, we want to win something. And that's the fine balance of the manager, and that's his job at the end of the day. Josh, thank you so much for the super chat. Make sure you head over to Josh's channel and hit the sub button over there as well. Great content. He says, what manager do you think will be first sacked? Very good question, that. We've got a few newbies. Obviously, Vieira's come in. So that's one that maybe could be looked at. Is it Larg, who's gone at Wolves? Benitez is at Everton. You've still got Brucey at Newcastle, which is up there as my vote, Steve Bruce. But yeah, Meg, Nat, what's your thoughts on that one?
I mean, like you said, because there's a few newbies and a few movements in this management, I just think it's a tricky one. Listen, Southampton didn't set the world alight last season, and whether they will be able to, steer clear of the 9-0s, who knows? But I'm going to say Hasenhüttl for me. I think potentially in with a shout if he doesn't light it up.
There you go. James agrees.
Great minds, James.
I can't believe he stayed in charge when on 2 occasions his team has scored 9 goals. Like, when does that happen in the Premier League? To him, it happened twice. That's mad. How unfortunate is that? I think he needs like a reverse where maybe they put 9 against someone, because it seems bad luck for Southampton in that respect. Obviously, when we were on the right side of it, I was buzzing. What's that?
Danny Ings is leaving Southampton as well.
Rumours are, I mean, our name, as usual, has been mentioned. Danny Ings. But if he goes, I do think he'll be a massive loss for them, though. He's
huge for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say much. I don't follow Southampton particularly that much, and I don't really have any friends that are that are Southampton supporters, but I can imagine someone like that who's leading your line and has experience in the Premier League. You know, whether they're the best on the pitch for you or not, that experience must count for something. But they need to get that act together this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think Steve Bruce is in with a shout. I think he was lucky to stay last season.
Oh, is the guy who asked the question, Josh? Are you a Southampton supporter? I feel like he's a Southampton. This guy asked the question, didn't he, about who was getting sacked, and he's put we can't even score 9 goals, and I presume the we is Southampton.
I'm sure he's a Chelsea fan.
Apologies if you're a Southampton fan, and I just called your own team out.
I'm not sure if that echo is still there. So no, guys. Like I say, sometimes I hear it, sometimes I don't. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe just YouTube being a bit bizarre, but I apologise that you might have to listen to me twice. That must be hellish. But we'll get on to the ladies' team. We mentioned there's been a lot of transfers in the women's team. Obviously, there's been movement in that. Firstly, in terms of the manager, Mark Skinner has been linked. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, well, I know me and Meg spoke about him on the old WhatsApp, and Meg's a fan. I'm 50-50. I said it the other day as well on Twitter. It's as if you can't sort of wait and see. You have to be all in or out, and it's sort of like the Ollie thing. You have to be in or out, and you can't just sort of wait and see. I think he did a great job at Birmingham when he was in the WSL. That was 3 years ago. I think the league's changed a lot from then. So I'm a bit worried because when he was in Orlando, he's got a 39% win rate. It's not good enough. I think his first season, he won 4, drew 4 and lost 16. It's not really what you want to see. I think he's got good man management now. I think he's going to, I think the players are excited to play under him. And I suppose that's what you want. You want your players to be happy. They've made some good signings. I'm not ready to say, obviously I'm going to back him, but I'm not ready to say, oh, he's going to be a superstar, he's going to do this. I just want to see how he starts, see what his plans are, listen to what he says. I know you even said to me on Twitter, Casey came in, this is you, Mega, Casey came in and he didn't have any experience, so this guy's got a bit more experience, so hopefully he can do it, and I'm fairly confident, let's put it that way. And that's probably the positive side of me coming out, saying...
I love it. I love the confidence in that. Meg, what's your thoughts on it then, on Mark Skinner being linked to the ladies' team?
I like I said to Nat the other day, I knew him from when he first started coaching and genuinely liked him. He was a good man manager, would put his arm around you, knew how to get the best out of players, and coaching wise, I thought he was very good. Obviously, that was a fair few years ago now. He moved on to Birmingham, went out to America, and like Nat said, it's not worked out particularly the greatest in Orlando Pride. But with Birmingham, he got there towards the end. It was a slow start, built up. And like I said, like Nat just alluded to, Casey Stoney didn't have any specific managerial experience on her own, stood there as a manager. And Mark has. So I think if you're going to give Casey, we were excited to get Casey in as manager when it all first happened. Big personality, big player, kind of knew the leagues and knew the women's game. I think Mark does know the women's game. And like Nat said, the league has changed a little bit. I think you have to give someone time. You never know. Look, Frank Lampard came in and it didn't work out for him at Chelsea. But he was the biggest Chelsea idol there was. Ollie's come in and has been given time, and for me has built up Manchester United men's team. Now we're attracting bigger players, and I think if you give somebody patience and you allow them to kind of build their team, build their style of play, as long as they are collecting results along the way as well and don't just sit bottom of the league, then let it be. But I don't like seeing whether it's a player or manager or like other teams as well, you appoint somebody and there's so many fans against it straight away. It's difficult to watch. It's like, this guy's going to come into our team, and allow him to just to have an opportunity. But yeah, I'm happy with it if that happens. and I'm more so willing to give time for him to build his squad and be able to come to the WSL and put his mark on it, hopefully.
Totally agree. He deserves a chance. And like I was talking to Nat off camera, we've got a manager, and we need to start planning these transfers moving forward. There has been some movement today in terms of transfers, and I'll get onto that in a sec. Firstly, though, Doug, thank you so much for the super chat. I was on Doug's channel yesterday, the Doug Out. Go and check it out. Really enjoyable interview with Doug, talking about all things United. So go and give him a sub over there. But thank you, Doug, for that. He says Josh should have rephrased that. How many managers will Watford go through in one season? If they manage to have one season with one manager, I'll be shocked. Well, Doug, you alerted to me yesterday they've got 9 strikers, I believe, on the books, or someone told me that yesterday they got 9 strikers on the books. Imagine if there's come up with 9 managers in a season as well. That would be mad, wouldn't it? But yeah, they seem to have a thing for sacking managers, Watford. I don't know what it is. Hopefully this season they actually go on a decent run and don't have to do that. But be interesting to see what happens and how they fare in the league, obviously. But Nat, we'll stick to the ladies' team. Like I say, hat-trick of signings so far. Give us a bit of a rundown on the signings and how you're feeling about them.
Well, Bo Risa, for me, I think she's a quality midfielder. She's played in the World Cup for Norway. I'm excited for that one, definitely. Hannah Blundell, she's 25 or 27, I can't remember. She's come as part of the LJ going out, but I think we needed a fullback. Onabache is very good attacking fullback, and I think the other side was maybe missing that kind of fullback, whereas I think now we're going to have 2 fullbacks bombing forward a lot. So I'm excited for that. And then today in the evening, about 5-ish, 4 or 5, Sophie Bagley was announced. And she's 25, I think, again. Just experience keeper. So I think she's going to challenge Mary Earps. I'm not saying I think last year with the women's team we saw loads of quality. I'm not saying these girls aren't quality, but I think these girls are going to add depth now and just tick along. I think when we had the injuries, that's where we struggled. When Toby went out, when Press wasn't playing, when Leah wasn't playing, we struggled. Whereas I think these girls are, sort of the backup, the depth. They're going to add a lot. They're going to add the experience which we need. Chelsea fan there saying gutted to lose us. So if they're gutted to lose us, it must be good for us, because Chelsea are top quality side. Obviously, Zoe's probably buzzing to add LJ, but I'm gutted. I'm devastated to lose Lauren James. For me, she's the best talent, and she's going and playing with her brother Reese, and wish her well. But that's what I'm gutted for. That's the one that we need to go out there and take that money, 100k, 50k, however much. It's not a lot in the women's game. Go out there and spend it and get a top quality player in to replace her, because I think she can be irreplaceable. But I think you need to get in a quality wingers and forwards now, and that's what I expect him to do now. Mark's coming, bring in the forwards.
Now, on that note, obviously, you love the women's game. If you could choose someone, if you could have your replacement, which name are you going to put out there?
I love. Who do I love? There's a young player, and I love young players, right? So that she's called Hayley Bajega, and she plays in this in the Italian league for San I don't even know, some team in green, and she's amazing. 18, again, smashing it up. If you could get anyone, I'd get someone like Kirby. They've got Guru Wrighton. I'd get someone like that, Beth England, or again, I'd get.
That's got a massive wish list.
I've got the list. Even Navarra, right winger, she was supposed to come in with honour. Someone like that. But I think a young player, that's what I'd love to see. I'd love to see a young girl coming in and taking that mantle from LJ. But a young, talented girl, like LJ, that we can build and, build up. It pains me when you see you've built them up, and it's like Ronaldo kind of thing. We built him up, and obviously LJ's not got to the level where she's doing that, like winning, scoring them goals, but she will. And then I just hope that she continues to play, because that's what she needs.
I'm gutted for Lauren James. I mean, I saw me post some pictures and videos earlier, but yeah, she was one player for me who, like, I was like glued watching her. I got you on the edge of the seat. She was that player who always had a special moment. I have no doubt she'll go on to bigger and better things, and she's going to be amazing for England and for Chelsea. But I'm just gutted. That's the kind of talent that for me, like, we need to be holding on to, man. But I get it. Obviously, her family and stuff in London, so I totally get it. But I'm absolutely gutted by that. I just want to say a big evening to Acid. We've talked Pogba, we've talked Varane, we've talked Sancho. We're now talking obviously about the women's signings at the minute as well. That's what we've done so far. And I was going to say, Josh, if you want to post a link to your channel, definitely put it in. I know Zoe is a Chelsea fan and she'll be interested in checking it out. I won't say that as disrespectful. That's absolutely cool. The magic of football means that Isaac, Aaron, and Zidane, Iqbal, and surprise everyone. I'm not sure what you mean by that one, Osmond. If you want to put it again, let us know. Nat needs Santos as curlers. I told you I had that long wish list. She had the wish list ready. But Meg, me and you on that day went to watch the United women. Obviously, like I said, that we recorded like a little video with Lauren James and whatnot, and we were saying then like we couldn't wait to see Lauren James play. That was the name that was in our mouth. That was on the edge of our tongue. Like Lauren James. That's the one we're looking forward to seeing. She's now gone to Chelsea. How are you feeling after that? It was like bittersweet. Exactly the same time as Sancho as well.
Do you know what? I have to give United admin a little bit of praise for that one. I texted Nat earlier and was like, I don't think I'm ready to see LJ's name all over Twitter in a blue Chelsea shirt. I'm just not there yet. And we were joking, we're like, we need to mute these words on Twitter because we just don't want to see it. And that was like 1 o'clock happening, and as we went on 1 o'clock, there it was. LJ's name popped up in blue, but on top of it was Sancho in red. So fair play to United admin. And if you know how good that was. But listen, for a football player like her who is going out to play at a very big club in the WSL, probably one of the biggest right now, where they've got to last season, what they potentially can go on and achieve, the names that she will be training in around every day, playing in the same team as Sam Kerr, Fran Kirby. I just think for her, it will light her career up slightly more than what we could have done at this present time. Had we had an extra couple of seasons, or even just another season with her, perhaps where we could say, look, we are heading to challenge for the league. I think as Manchester United fans, we knew that we would never go and win the league. We were up there and we were challenging for it, but the injuries kind of cost us. We knew that squad depth wasn't big enough, but she's in this Chelsea team, and yeah, for her, I'm happy for her. I'm gutted for United fans. I hope as England fans we get to see the best for her. And a huge good luck to her. Sophie on mute, stop.
Well, there you go, Nat. The question was already on the screen. What would you take, Naily Rangel?
Don't know who that is.
Who did she play for, actually? Give us some more information. We like doing scouting for United here in the chat.
I know.
Do some scouting.
A lot of good players out there. There's a lot of good players out there, though.
So Ash Neville. So my mate Ash Neville, I'd be buzzing with that. If not Varane, then who for centre-back? We are starting to get into panic mode. Yeah, that's a point, though. This transfer window, we know we need to sign a centre-back and a CDM. We haven't seen us linked to any other centre-back, though, have we? Varane has been the only name that has been mentioned. I do hope it's not the case where all our eggs are in one basket. And
you've been watching Love Island?
No, obviously not.
I think we've got a secret fan.
I'm confused.
Eggs all in one basket.
What does that mean?
This one.
No, I can't believe it yet. I've just used the Love Island term, have I?
I think you've been watching Love Island on the sly.
I can assure you I haven't. I assure you I haven't. I ain't got a clue what you're on about. I'm with Doug on this one. Yeah. Bit aggressive, but I agree. No, but yeah, if it's all like Varane at the minute, and we're not actually looking elsewhere, that falls through. Hopefully it doesn't, of course. But say you signed a new deal with Real Madrid, would you be concerned then that we spent far too much time on trying to push that deal?
You don't kind of want to get into panic stations or be left completely with nobody at the end. But I think you've got to kind of show that you're interested in somebody. You've got to try and want to make them feel wanted. I don't feel like we're at panic stations just yet. Like I said earlier, this transfer window is far from finished for me. So yeah, there is another comment in the chat that I want to get onto afterwards. So I'll let Nat go for it, and then I'm going to head back up.
In terms of this, the Tigres, they're really good, and I know Mexico got a lot of good talent. So yes, I would take her then.
There you go.
And Pau Torres. Yeah, I think that's the other one that we're maybe looking at for the men's side and the centre backs.
Yeah. In terms of the ladies, I'm not going to sit here and act like an expert, but for me, I just think, like you said, that squad depth, we saw last season, the injuries really affected us. It's important that we get squad depth as well as obviously a bit of experience if we can. I think Kirby would be a great signing, but I don't think that's really a realistic one. But I agree with what you're saying there, and that's kind of mould of player. We'll wait and see. I think a manager is first point of call now, isn't it? And then from there, he can start to mould his team. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with the women's team. We were linked to Pau Torres as well. Is he that much better than Lindelof from what we've seen so far? Probably, I wouldn't say so. Koulibaly, I know is ridiculous money that's asked about him. I think he's a good player, but I think it's a lot of money. Varane is the ideal one, isn't it? But if not Varane, then who? And I think that's a big question because we definitely need another centre-back and we definitely need a CDM, regardless of what happens with Pogba there. So it's an interesting one. But Josh said, as you all enjoy women's football, do any of you have an opinion on Emma Hayes? I love listening to her at the Euros on ITV, and she's thinking of going into men's football. I think she did a fantastic job for it at the Euros. I don't know about you two, but I thought she was superb.
This is the comment that I wanted to touch on because for women's football to have somebody like her who she puts so much passion and energy into the game, and you could see that in the commentary when she was talking about the Euros for the men. She knows so much about it. She's so invested in football. And I just think she's a shining light. And unfortunately, she does manage Chelsea, which is not so good when you're a Manchester United fan. But as someone who likes football and in this instance, women's football, you have to give credit where credit is due. And that woman is superb at what she does. And she definitely has another role in commentary if she ever wants it.
I agree. Nat, what's your thoughts on Emma Hayes' performance in the Euros?
Yeah, obviously she was really good. Stand out, was talking about XA, XG, knows what she's talking about. Good. Does a lot of homework. You see, sort of people, ex-players sort of getting involved and they don't know as much as say like her or Alex Scott, and they get slagged and slated, but they've really, like what Meg said, put themselves out, shining lights. So for me, she could manage in the men's game, who knows? But obviously, I think she's probably got a lot of unfinished business at Chelsea. They didn't manage to get their historic treble. They're obviously probably going to go for it again this year, and it's not good when you're a United fan thinking, we can be there, but that should be the levels where we should be at, and hopefully one day we will get there.
Hopefully, I agree. I think you mentioned her research there, but she's so analytical when she was speaking, went in depth, and I think she did a great job. I thought she was really entertaining. I saw Ian Wright tweeting some stuff bigging her up as well. She was fantastic and repping for the ladies for sure. Alex Scott as well, getting a commentary now into FIFA 22, which I think is massive and well deserved. I think she's been superb as well. She's been outstanding, hasn't she? Let's be honest, she's been that breakthrough woman. Her and Laura Woods, I'd say, this season have been the main breakthroughs. And to get that on FIFA as well, I'm buzzing for that. I think it's been a long time coming, and hopefully soon as well you can create a pro what actually is a woman as well, rather than being a man trying to make a man look like a woman, because that's what you normally have to do, which is frustrating. Hopefully that the game does develop in that sense as well. But yeah, Alex Scott, absolute legend for getting onto that as well. I think is a great achievement. So yeah, but I'm going to ask you what out of 10, if we get Varane in, so Sancho, Varane, if Pogba goes, but we do get a midfielder in, what would you rank that transfer window out of 10? I'm going to ask both of you that in the chat as well. So we get Sancho, we get Varane, Pogba goes, but we do sign another midfielder. You can obviously read into that how you want. It could be someone we've been linked with, Goretzka, Camavinga, Declan Rice, maybe. I don't think that's a likely one. But if we did get a midfielder and Pogba goes, along with the two I mentioned just, how would you rate that transfer window? I'll start with you, Meg, on that one. What's your thoughts? Out of 10.
Could you see my sad face? I was like, oh. I was like, when you were saying it, I was thinking she'll say Pogba's going to stay. And I was like, whoa, that would be good. And then you said Pogba's going to leave. And I was like, oh, that's sad. It's very dependable on who you get with Pogba going. I would go less than a 7 out of 10 if Pogba leaves. If Pogba leaves and you don't get anybody in, that's a 5 out of 10 window for me, because you literally shot yourself in the foot. You didn't get your central defensive midfielder, and you then let another midfielder go, and that's not on. So Pogba goes, you don't replace him, it's a 5 out of 10, and then you've got between that and obviously 10 out of 10 with who you replace him with or who you bring in, and that would vary.
I'm putting you on the spot a bit here, but who would be like your ideal midfield signing? Because I've mentioned a few. Obviously, Neves is one that is doable, 35 million, I think. Goretzka is another one. I believe he'll get a new deal at Bayern, but we are linked with him. Camavinga, even players like Bissouma, people reckon we could get for quite cheap. Saul, there's quite a few out there. Like, who would be your ideal? And this is a hard question.
It's hard. There's a lot of hype around Camavinga, and I said this before, I'm not an expert on him. Don't have the ins and outs of everything. Listen, if Grealish came in, I'd love that. But I don't think it's realistic. So Camavinga, I'm going off what other people have said, and I don't really like doing that and saying, "Oh, I know everything about it." I don't. Neves has got the Premier League experience. We know that how he plays, and he is at a good, reasonable value.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say on the situation at the moment. Yeah, my initial choice though would be Pogba didn't go, so.
Of course. All right then. We get Varane, Sancho, Pogba stays.
10
out of 10. About that. Really? Without signing a midfielder?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I would rate that 8. An 8. I don't rate it an 8. If you've got a CDM, that's what you wanted, isn't it? That's what we all wanted. But so that in my personal opinion, if you got a CDM, that would make it a 10 out of 10. So I'd drop it down to an 8.
Not bad. Obviously, in the chat, there's a lot of mixtures between a 7 up until I think we've had a 9 as well. I do think it obviously hinges on what player comes in. I'd love the signing of Camavinga. I think he is the kind of player that we should be looking at. Nat, what's your thoughts on it?
For me, it'd be an 8. Obviously, I don't want Pogba to go, but if he went, but we got that midfielder that was of, say, the level. I mean, I know people are saying Camavinga will be world class, but even I like Rice. I think I've always liked him. Maybe because I watch a lot more Premier League football. But Rice, Grealish, for me, I think if you're going to let Pogba go, you should be going for a Grealish. Really, in my opinion, I think that's the kind of same level. We're talking about LJ. We need to go for someone like that. For me, I think you should go out and break the bank for. That's the police cars going past. They're coming for me. But no, you should break the bank for Grealish. I think if Pogba goes, don't think they will. But I think if you get Sancho, Varane, and a midfielder, sort of what we wanted. Yes, Pogba goes. Maybe you get another midfielder. I'd still say an 8. And there's a lot of young kids coming through. I've seen James Garner.
That's a good show. Good show. He did well on loan.
Boys that want to play there. Give them a chance.
Yeah. And I expect to see more game time from Ghana this season, whether it be in a couple but I expect to see him feature a bit more because he did well on loan. Scored some bangers, to be fair, last season as well for Forest, so it'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I think an 8's not a bad shout. I think if Pogba goes or stays, the crucial thing is that if we do replace him, regardless of Pogba going or staying, we still said we needed that CDM, so I'll stick to that. And obviously, if we could get another signing in as well to replace Pogba, that would be brilliant. So 2 midfielders coming in. But Sancho and Varane, I mean, we're talking here like Varane is done. We've still got to get that deal done as well. But that would be a nice start, wouldn't it? And Sancho coming in definitely strengthens us, but Varane takes us to that next level, in my opinion. And then getting in a CDM as well. I just can't wait for the season to start. But yeah, we shall see what happens. Girls, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it on your Friday night, taking the time to come on. I'll start with you, Nat. Shout out where people can find you and they can read your articles.
Yeah, Natalie_17. I'm writing for the United Journal as well. And we're doing a lot of women's content. So I've got my own show on All for United WFC now on a Wednesday. So go and check it out. It's talking about all different leagues, the Spanish league, the British league. Going to probably talk about National League, different kind of trying to educate and spread the word about women's football. I'm a massive women's football fan. So definitely go and check out that channel if you want to hear more about all women's football, but especially Man United women.
Love that. Definitely go and read her articles. Definitely go and watch content. Nat, always enthusiastic, always positive. I love it. And like she said, like if you want to gain knowledge on the women's game, she's the person to listen to. She's the girl to go to. Yeah, she's an expert. Meg, let people know where they can find you as well. And thank you again for coming on.
Thank you. Again, I apologise that I was slightly late, but that is the life of being a mum, I'm afraid. I'm at Megan Can with an underscore.
Megan Score.
Listen, I've not even had a glass of wine yet, but we're heading that way. But yeah, I'm there, and at Real Ladies in Red YouTube channel. I've been slightly absent this week. I've had a hectic week, but we're back. We're back.
Selection, thank you so much for that super chat. It says, think we'll see Pogba run it down and leave on a free, get a bigger bag because he knows Ollie ain't it. I'm just kidding. It does seem though, and thank you again for the contribution, but it does seem like he's edging to stay in the season and going on a free, doesn't it? It does seem that could be the realistic way it's going to pan out. I'm interested to see how that saga unfolds over the next few weeks, but I just hope that Varane comes in, it turns Pogba said and he wants to stay and he signs that new deal. That would be the ideal situation, wouldn't it, for all parties? But we'll see what happens with that. And thank you to everyone in the chat for tuning in as always. We appreciate it. Please hit a like on the video. Hit that sub button if you are brand new as well. I'd appreciate that. And of course, if we have missed your comments, we do not do it on purpose. We just try and keep up with everything. We go off on a tangent, you know what we're like. Drop a comment afterwards and we'll reply to you there. Definitely, we do check it. But yeah, make sure you follow the two ladies. Give them the support as well. They've been fantastic. Follow Ladies in Red. We'll be back over the weekend with more content. But until then, guys, enjoy the weather, keep smiling, and we'll see you soon.